Hello, and what is going on, everybody? I am Master of the TDS, and I'm joined by my lovely wife,
WritingRaven.
And we're back for another episode of Psycho-Synopsis. 3 topics from the past week, all summarized in one video for you to enjoy and consume at your leisure.
You're welcome. Now let's get into it.
Superhero landing!
Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender is a regretful mess, failing in every way, from its slavish yet distant adaptation of the original series to its emotionally hollow and tonally dissonant storytelling, despite efforts to maintain fidelity to the source material.
Who could have seen that coming? I mean, for instance, they originally, as you can see from this image, they originally said that Sokka's sexism was only going to be toned down, and then now that the show is out, he's saying that it was completely removed.
What a surprise! You mean that they weren't being honest?
No way!
One thing to recognize is that apparently, from what we've seen, the majority of people, some people have said it's good, but the majority of people have said that it fails to capture the essence of the original series, probably because they've removed so many different things from it that wasn't necessary.
And also that the original showrunners completely left.
Well, yes. When the original showrunners left, a lot of people were already worried about this, because the fact that they left for creative differences is never a good sign.
Never.
But I guess people were kind of hopeful because of how One Piece did.
But the difference is that One Piece still had Oda. Oda-sama was in charge of the One Piece show. Anything he didn't approve of, they scrapped and did over until he gave it the green light. Because Oda is extremely protective of One Piece, and everyone loves One Piece. Sorry, but it's true. Because it's so popular, and he wanted, because Oda respects his fans. Netflix clearly does not.
The showrunners of this evidently had their own ideas as well, because they decided to include a scene of Avatar Kyoshi taking out a bunch of people, and, in the second episode, which makes no sense, spoilers for anybody who cares, they apparently retconned the show so that Aang can only speak to the other versions of the avatars at their shrines, and Kyoshi kind of takes control of his body and flies into the air and blasts people and makes tornadoes, and it's a little weird.
The only time Aang was possessed by Kyoshi was during a trial in season 2, in which the Avatar was accused of killing the leader of a village, and Kyoshi, when Aang was wearing her stuff to channel her spirit, literally admitted to doing the deed.
They've also changed the origin. It was very quick if you weren't paying attention. They changed the origin of Omashu.
Oh yeah, they made it a lesbian relationship instead of a secret love between a man and a woman like Romeo and Juliet.
Because we need to make sure we include things. Now, look, nobody's saying you can't enjoy the show, and if you enjoyed it and you're one of the people who enjoy it, good for you.
But literally, the entire tunnel episode with the crazy smoking nomads, which was one of the best episodes. I mean, who can forget the Secret Tunnel song? Literally, the story, when Katara was reading it, the woman's name was Oma and the man's name was Shu. They named the city Omashu as a testament to their love. Why would you change that?
Because they need to make sure that they pander to this tiny minority. I'm sorry, if this is too much truth for you to handle, you can always sit down. Please feel free. Get a chair, put a nice cushion, grab a drink of water, maybe some snacks, sit down and prepare to be truthed. The minorities are minorities because they are so small, meaning they take up such a tiny percentage of the world that catering to them makes no sense. Having organic diversity and inclusion in things makes sense. Going out of your way to insert it when it's not necessary to pander is stupid.
Best example? Toph! Toph! The blind badass character who sees through earthbending, feeling the vibrations in the earth, but actually has no physical sight. That was diversity done right, right?
Correct. They also ruined Boomy as well. Apparently, they made him kind of a little bit weird. Look, I'll be completely honest here. This show is not for us. We're not going to watch it any further.
No, we're going to go back to the classic.
Exactly. So if you're a fan of the original, this might be something you're interested in, but keep in mind it's going to be completely different from the original. And if you're going to able to do that, it might be something enjoyable. But if you're looking for Avatar adapted to live action,
this is not it. M. Night Shyamalan did a better job.
I know that hurt to say, honey.
Yes, it did. Can I please break something?
No, we have another topic to cover.
Nah.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
I have given you
The racism
a gift only a corporation can bestow.
Oh, gross.
You're welcome!
Simon,
Jared.
Mallory,
Retardicus.
Roku releases trailer for The Spiderwick Chronicles, a series adapted from the book series by Tony DiCerlizzi and Holly Black, featuring Christian Slater and Joy Brandt. The show has been criticized for making extensive changes and race swapping all the main characters.
Who could have seen that coming?
Do you know who originally made the show? Can you guess based on what's happening here?
It was Disney.
What? No way.
Yes way. They scrapped it for some reason, and then Roku picked it up for some reason, and then didn't, and then just picked it up as it was left by Disney, with every single character race swapped.
Now, we don't know for certain whether or not they made some changes to it. We don't know. But it was an original Disney product, and changing all the main characters and race swapping is not abnormal for Disney. And before anybody says it, yes, race swapping the main characters in a show that you say, well, it doesn't take away from the source material, so why? Why would you do it? Because it's not necessary. You don't have to.
The kids and their mom were white. Get over it.
And not only that, but they made Christian Slater, who plays Mulgarath, he's white, and the kids are black. So they're going with the common trope of bad guy white, main characters black.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the movie with Freddie Highmore playing Simon and Jared was obviously more accurate than this.
It looked more accurate. It's sad because I'm a fan of Spiderwick Chronicles. I actually was looking forward to this a little bit, hopeful. It was Disney, so I was only hopeful. When I say hopeful, it was a very, very small amount. You need the site to be able to see it.
Did a hobgoblin bestow it?
No, corporation, and it bestowed racism.
Unfortunately.
Changing characters just for the sake of it and saying, well, it doesn't matter, so we did it, is the most disgusting racist thing you could ever do. You are literally saying that black people cannot have original characters, that you need to change main characters to pander to them because on their own, they can't make original characters. That's disgusting.
It really is. You guys should be ashamed.
And they didn't even try to hide it. And the thing is, I've been looking around, and the funniest thing is,
no one is talking about this. Literally, we are like the only channel actually covering this trailer.
Because nobody cares. Spiderwick has been gone for ages. They did have that sequel series called Beyond the Spiderwick Chronicles, which I thought was okay, but it wasn't great.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's been more since then. I read them. I have them in our collection. I reread them once in a while. It's always nice. I like that. And I actually do like the movie. I think the movie was okay. It definitely took some creative liberties, but it was good for what it is. And to be fair, I'll put it this way. It was one of the castings for Seth Rogen that was actually good because he played Hogsqueal,
the hobgoblin who spit in faces in order to allow people to see fairies.
And since Seth Rogen is kind of a hobgoblin, it kind of works.
I know. It really was the best casting.
Now, it's possible this may actually be good, but when you show that right away and you show that you don't even care about the main characters, that you had to make them black just for the sake of it, and you have no reason, that's stupid. You can't claim it was the right people for the role. If it was the right people for the role, there would be some white and some black, and you know it. They made it all black. Now, it's not abnormal to have diversity, but this was not necessary. If you're going to make an adaptation of Spiderwick Chronicles, literally the front covers of the books show the family as white. That is literally something that I don't know how you could get wrong unless you closed your eyes, stuck your fingers in your ears, and went, la, 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 we don't hear you.
They probably did, honey. I'm so sorry.
I was looking forward to this. I want more Spiderwick stuff, but this is not how you do it. And it's fact that it's Disney doesn't surprise me. Not sure what Roku saw in this. Again, maybe it'll do well, but I don't think it's going to do well. I think it's going to kind of drop and then disappear because no one's going to care, because no one's covering it. There are barely any images online, and for good reason, because nobody cares about Spiderwick anymore, and this property is not Spiderwick, even if it has the name.
Don't worry, we'll always have the books. Maybe we'll watch the movie again.
Yeah, I'd like that. I'd rather not give this a watch because it just doesn't interest me and I'm not happy about it.
I agree.
What is this nonsense? I can't believe I paid $6 for this!
That's it. I'm out of here.
This video is the biggest load of hoo-ha I've ever seen.
Am I the only one who understands the complexities of this ambitious cinematic masterpiece? This movie isn't stupid! You're stupid!
A Disney executive blames fans for the failures of The Marvels and Star Wars, suggesting audience politicization and hidden discriminatory agendas as reasons, while CEO Bob Iger expresses feeling overwhelmed and exhausted with the ongoing challenges.
Oh no!
Now, let's read exactly what he said here. So first off, we want to clarify this is not 100%, we can't tell for certain this is true. This is just came from somebody. Let's read what they have to say here.
Go for it.
What they say here is they won't say that they find female empowerment distasteful in the Marvels or Star Wars, but they will say they don't like those movies because they are bad. So, quote, make better movies becomes code for make movies that conform to regressive gender stereotypes or put men front and center in the narrative.
I want to laugh, but is it worth laughing at?
Not really.
Bob Iger feels overwhelmed and exhausted. I don't blame him. I mean, he did cause a lot of the challenges, so he's dug his own grave, I guess. His own earthly 6 feet under grave.
If the challenges that you're having to face involves anybody who thinks like this person does, I would say I pity you, but I really don't.
Yeah, is there any reason to pity them?
This is of your own making. You spent a ton of money, you didn't get a lot from it, and then you left and kind of just threw Bob Chapek under the bus.
You literally made a meme of him being thrown under a bus.
There have been plenty of box office disappointments in the past year. And instead of claiming fans are the problem, maybe ask yourself why fans aren't showing up. You can say, oh, well, men just hate women.
Men are the majority of people who are showing up to the superhero movies. Explain that.
Including the Marvels, by the way, and including Madam Web, which, to be fair, wasn't a Disney movie, it was a Sony movie.
True, which featured hot women. Hence why men showed up.
Hate to break this to you, but it's not code for we want regressive whatever. It's code for give us good stories or shut up.
Please, just go back to making good stuff.
They're not going to, because, look, you guys have gotten so far into this now that you are scared to turn back. And you have these people in there who say things like this. Now, again, we don't know for certain whether it's true, but if this was uttered by somebody, then we understand now why Disney's in the state that it's in.
Of course, because, like I said, they dug their own grave. I wonder what kind of shovel they used, where I can get one.
No shovels for you.
Aw, but I want to dig graves, or at least rob them.
Maybe some other time.
Okay.
We just want good stories. We don't care if there's a female lead as long as you make them an actual person. If you make them a Mary Sue girl boss who's disabled and black and does all this stuff, nobody cares. They're not showing up to the movies. They're tweeting about it on Twitter, and guess what? It's funny enough, honey, it's almost like someone recently found out that there are paid blue checkmark accounts on Twitter promoting some of these projects.
Really? I wonder who that could have been. Hint, hint.
And yes, this has been a thing people have known for a while, but these are different because they are paid blue check marks, and Disney has claimed they're not going to be spending any advertisement money on Twitter, but if they're paying for these accounts...
then yeah, they're putting a lot of money behind this terrible promotion scheme. And, obviously, we finally have some evidence, thanks to my husband, that the bots are a thing.
And as I said, we've known for a while that they're a thing, but having the actual evidence is helpful because just saying that we know it or someone's seen it doesn't actually work. We need hard evidence to prove our points.
And he, my darling, provided that evidence for everyone.
There are 2 videos currently up you can go check out that have some of those evidence, including from Warner Brothers as well. But the point being here is that if they have Disney executives saying these kinds of things behind the scenes, if I was in charge, I would be firing every single one of them. Because if this is what you think when you do something wrong, it means you can't take criticism. And if you can't take criticism and you are someone working in entertainment and supposed to be creative, that is a problem.
A very big problem. Creativity is supposed to be just that, creative. You're supposed to do whatever you want and not cave to people, but you're also supposed to understand that people are going to have certain expectations. And part of the challenge of being a creative is meeting those expectations, which I really love doing.
But Disney evidently likes meeting their own expectations, and that's the problem that we're dealing with now.
Yeah.
Expect more failure.
And expect more bot exposure coming soon.
Jimmy, let's talk about how that story made you feel.
And now it is time for the diagnosis of the week.
Where we diagnose the week with a mental illness.
Because someone has to.
And we have an interesting diagnosis for this week.
Do tell.
The diagnosis for this week is narrative warfare.
Please explain.
So narrative warfare is a strategic use of narratives, stories, or propaganda to shape perceptions, influence opinions, and achieve specific objectives in a conflict or competition. This concept involves the deliberate crafting and dissemination of narratives to advance a particular agenda, sway public opinion, or undermine competing narratives. It likely emerged from discussion and analysis of information warfare, propaganda, and communication strategies.
In relation to today's topics, with the Netflix Avatar series, narrative warfare is evident in the criticisms of the live-action adaptation, where fans and critics express dissatisfaction with the changes made to the original story and characters, highlighting a clash of narratives between the creator's vision and audience expectations.
With the Roku Spiderwick series, narrative warfare is seen in the criticism of the series for making changes to the original story and characters, potentially altering the narrative to cater to specific agendas or sensitivities which would influence how the series is perceived by audiences.
And with the Disney executive blaming fans, narrative warfare is evident in the attempt to shift blame and control the narrative surrounding these projects, suggesting that audience politicization and discriminatory agendas are at play in shaping the perception of these films.
So narrative warfare is a concept more than a diagnosis, but we felt it fit here because that's what they're doing. These people are trying to push their own narrative with their own propaganda, their own stories, to shape perceptions, especially of young children. And this is not how reality works. Just because you believe something doesn't mean that everybody else is going to. Yes, it's okay to put some of your own perspective and some of your own experience into the properties that you create. But when you create a property based on your worldview with the idea that everybody needs to see the same, not only is that not true, but it's going to lead to backlash and fan discontent. And that's what we see going forward. And we will continue to see it until the point where some of these people start to wake up. And that's why I feel this is a great diagnosis for this week.
I agree.
That is all we have for this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and also make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe with notifications on so you do not miss your weekly therapy session.
Or you will be charged.
Gothic Therapy